Funeral cover for less than a cup of coffee. Peace of mind is not as expensive as you may think. For just one day, you can forego your cup of coffee for your monthly Diaspora Funeral Cash Plan cover. To find out how much premium you would pay, get a quote today. Visit www.diasporainsurance.com/get-quote. WhatsApp +44 770 3838 304 UK and international. WhatsApp +27 659 070 419 South Africa and rest of Africa. Funeral cover for less than a cup of coffee.
Habari wa Kenya. Get fantastic rates with Send. You can now send money to Kenya at great rates and with zero transfer fees. Send money from the USA, Canada, UK, Germany, Italy, France, Belgium, Spain, and the Netherlands. Trust TapTap for convenient, safe, and fast transactions to M-Pesa and to Kenyan bank accounts. Download today and get a bonus on your first transfer. TapTap ni Chacha.
Here's a funeral cash plan that guarantees you free coverage in the future. Throughout your career, you have made contributions to a funeral plan. Eventually, you retire and cannot afford the premiums, and your policy expires. Are you heading in that direction? Let Diaspora Insurance take care of you. When you take out a Diaspora funeral cash plan, you'll never have to worry about this again. Your future coverage is guaranteed. You can get a free quick quote right now and start the journey to free coverage in the future when you cannot afford your premiums. Your peace of mind is only a WhatsApp message away. +44 770 3838 304 or +27 659 070 419. Get in touch now. 24/7 quote and apply at diasporainsurance.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Niajiwase. TapTap Send Money Transfer has launched its app in Kenya. Send money to M-Pesa and Kenyan bank accounts. Send money quickly at the best rate, hassle-free. Available in the UK, France, Italy, Spain, Netherlands, Belgium, and Germany. Too mucky too.
Hey, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. I hope you can hear me well and clear. Greetings all the way from Germany here. I'm speaking actually from Geneva, but I'm based in Germany, and I'm so excited to be here today as we get started with this discussion for today. As you all know, diaspora, we really need to get ourselves organized. Today's topic is one of my favorite topic, and I'm really excited to bring to you a product that you have been waiting for. I know we have had issues, and you and I know what I'm talking about. You know those WhatsApp calls when you wake up and you find yourself in a group? Yes, it's about Diaspora Insurance, cash cover, as you heard that. It's about covering your costs when you're dead, and you can be able, these are things, there's unfinished businesses we talk about that we leave behind and leave for others to deal with. We are African culture. We need to really cover ourselves because these are they're messing up our budget. And you know that. If you have no plan for it, we have to get planned. So today I have a guest speaker, and I'm not anyone. I brought the CEO of Diaspora Insurance, and he has been following us. And also I want to thank also everyone else who have been in during the Awe events. And I know that you have been very active, and they have been following us in each event. In the UK, they came to you. In Germany, they came to see you, as well in Holland. They were all there and all received a lot of information how to get. Even some of you got good ideas of working with them because they're really looking for partners as well. But I'm not going to spoil the broth here because they're going to tell us more about it. Today, Dr. Lucy is going to come, and welcome to Dime Talk Shows. And I am Joy Zenz, the founder of African Women in Europe. I'm going to be guiding you today together with Dr. Lucy McKenzie. She's just joining in a few minutes. And I will have to apologize for those of you in Kenya if the time was not right on the flyer. We are starting now at around 8. It should be 8 o'clock in Kenya. It's 1 hour difference because of summertime. And those ones who are joining us from the US, you're all welcome. In Germany right now it's 7. And I hope you've had your dinner all set to get information. And please share. Let me know where you're listening us from, and the country you're in, and what's the impact. Any questions if you have tried the diaspora insurance, because you have heard about them for so many times. We have tried to share with you over and over again to make sure that we really get the message out to you. And today I'm joined with my guest speaker, and I can see you've all started writing. Thank you for letting me know, beautiful Beatrice van der Waal, all the way from Frankfurt. I hope you're still in Frankfurt in Kenya. Share, because about diaspora insurance is here and cash cover. What does it mean? And I want you people to be informed, get to know what it is about the diaspora funeral cash cover, and it's being offered by the Diaspora Insurance. And if you have not checked on the website, start looking at it right now, diasporainsurance.com, and also stroke AWE, and that one will give me an impact. At least you got to know them from me. But don't worry, it's all about getting the information. That's what we want to do today. So you're listening us from Dime Talk Show. If you've never heard about Dime Talk, it's about diaspora information and giving you a lot of education in investments, in how to invest in Africa, including Kenya as well. And I'm calling you all the way from Geneva here. I was in WTO representing women in business, and I'm very excited. So I'll be joined shortly by Dr. Lucy McKenzie. She's already on her way, but my guest is already here. And you know what? The best thing is to introduce them here with you, to you, so that we can have this conversation to know what it is about diaspora insurance. And I'm so excited for that. Hey, Dr. Lucy McKenzie is right on time. How are you, my sister, on the other side?
Oh my goodness, it feels like forever. How are you?
We've not been in this space for some time. I'm good. Thank you.
But it
How are
is
you
well.
on the
It
other
is
side?
well. It is well, very well. Cold,
Cold. We're summer here
freezing is
finally.
freezing is more like it.
I'm happy you're here, because here it's going to be a lot of discussion here. I hope we keep you warm in Kenya. It's quite interesting if
Yes,
we can
please.
change. In Europe, it's over 30 here, and I'm actually in an aircon place here, so I'm very excited about it.
Are you
So welcome,
kidding?
Dr. Lucy. Yes, we have never seen this before. Climate change. That's why we need to get ourselves insured. Welcome.
Yes.
Introduce yourself as I get to introduce our guest speaker.
Hello, our viewers. We have totally missed you, but it has been good. And it is so good to be back. And today we are going to talk about diaspora insurance. My name is Dr. Lucy McKenzie, co-host and co-founder of Dime Talk Show. So our job is to bring credible and interesting things to you, our diaspora clients. That way you stay informed. And so it ranges from good health, it ranges from investments, things to do with your money. And so we have really missed you, and we've been working on quite a number of things. So I am looking forward to the next few months, because we're going to bring some really cool guests to talk to us about our money. And I'm looking forward to today's discussion. How is it in Geneva?
Geneva is so hot, and I'm so excited to have you. And I'm so excited to have the CEO of Diaspora Insurance. Welcome, Mr. Jeff Madzingo. And some of you who were not there in Germany, if German people, you missed to meet the CEO, because he was there in person in House Muhlenburg. And that's what Lucy was saying. We're busy outside there hosting real events and really meeting the people. We talk to you every other day to meet them in person. because we want you to see with this is a real deal here. And we're not talking about just anybody. We're talking about you. This time we're not telling you to take care of your family back at home and investing back at home. No, we're talking about you investing in yourself and the life after you're left here. So who's taking care of that? And that's why we're here. So I hand over to Dr. Liz to get us started with the discussion for today. Please share. I can see some of you are here. Please share with your network and let's get this information where it's needed. The diaspora, we need to get ourselves a cash cover. Back to you, Dr. Lucy.
Thank you so much, Joy, and welcome CEO Jeff Madzingo from Diaspora Insurance. We are so honored that you have agreed to come and be a guest on this show today. And we are going to ask that you introduce yourself briefly before we begin to speak about Diaspora Insurance. Welcome. You're on mute.
Joy muting me.
Yes, we can hear you.
No, thank you so much for the introduction. And I'm Jeff Madzingo, and I'm the CEO for Diaspora Insurance. I'm based in the UK, and I've been working on the Diaspora Insurance for over 10 years now. So it's a product that we are offering with a special focus on the diasporans, and we are very happy to be talking to you guys. And thank you everyone for tuning in. We are looking forward to a very informative and interesting discussion.
Fantastic. So, first question, what is Diaspora Insurance and who does it cover?
Yeah. Thank you for the question. Diaspora Insurance is I would say it's a specialist insurance company. We specialize in developing and distributing specialist products focusing on the diaspora market. With insurance, what tends to happen is that there is what we identify as the mass market where everyone is focusing on, and that is at the expense of specialist niche markets. And the diasporans are a specialist and very difficult in each market because of the nature of a diasporan is someone who is transnational. It's a global villager who belongs to more than one society. So automatically that creates a lot of headaches for insurance companies in terms of how do you then structure a product that speaks to their reality. Their reality is that you may be in Geneva now, you are originally from Kenya, and you are based in Germany. So that's the reality of diasporans. And we always find that some people have got family in Geneva, you've got family in Australia, you've got family in Canada, you've got family back in Kenya or South Africa or Zimbabwe, you name it. So it creates a very difficult conundrum for the insurance in terms of structuring a product that speaks to that. So Diaspora Insurance specializes in doing that to make sure that the diasporans' needs are addressed and they are given suitable products.
Okay. And so how many countries in the diaspora would you say we cover?
Yeah, at the moment, our most globalized product is a product called the Diaspora Funeral Cash Plan. Diaspora Funeral Cash Plan, and it's a specialist product. When the product started about 10 years ago, I've always put it that it's a solution crafted for the common good of people, especially the diasporans. And the Diaspora Funeral Cash Plan is available to 13 African countries, 13 nationalities, and we keep on adding more countries because it's a very, very popular product and the demand is amazing. It's a product that we now offer to 13 African countries. In East Africa, the product is available to Kenyans, to Tanzanians, Ugandans, Ethiopians. West Africa, we are covering Ghanaians. And Southern Africa, we've got the countries like South Africa, Zimbabwe, Botswana, Namibia, Malawi, Zambia, Eswatini. So a number of countries, Botswana, are all covered on the product. So the cover is available at the moment to 13 African countries, but we are adding more as we go along. So we create the capacity, the demand is there, and we keep on creating capacity and adding more countries.
Oh, Awesome. Joy, you have a question? You're
Joy, you're
muted.
muted.
Because yes, thank you. Yes, and I'm impressed because you said the countries where you're because the diaspora is a very diverse terminology. So you're talking of diaspora, you're covering the ones in the continent. Also, even the movement within the continent, meaning Kenyans going to South Africa, and these are also diasporans, or South African going to Kenya. Can you elaborate that? How is the diversity
Yes,
in the continent?
Yeah, that's the complexity that I touched on earlier on about the nature of diasporans being transnational. We are transnational citizens who belong to more than one nation, more than one society. So the product is designed specifically to speak to that, to the reality that someone may be from Kenya, they find an opportunity in South Africa, give it another 5 years, maybe they find a better opportunity in Canada. So people move from one country to the other. What we don't want is a situation where someone is in Kenya, they get their product when they move to South Africa. When they leave South Africa, they leave the product and they start afresh in Canada or start afresh in UK. It means they are covered on a product that does not speak to their reality as a transnational citizen. The Diaspora Funeral Cash Plan we have is a product that allows people to move from one place to the other, keeping the same policy. Because being a diaspora, and if you move, say, from Tanzania to Kenya, from Kenya to UK, from UK, maybe you find yourself, by the time you retire, you are living with one of your children in Florida, where the weather is better. All those things are real issues that happen in our lives as diasporans. Your product should go with you wherever you go. That's why we have the cover Diaspora Funeral Cash Plan, because you can move from one country to the other, keeping the same policy.
That's really impressive. So, like, Joy is now from Germany and came to Geneva, and if I decide my exit is in Geneva, so that means I'm still covered, right? I'm still here. But
you can press exit from any country and still keep your cover.
Now, you're talking of a diaspora funeral cash cover, and as you said, it is the one that is a selling point and really a product that is really needed in the country. So my question: how can you explain also help us also in the way of how the cash cover, why cash cover and not the actual reputation of or produce services like funeral burial? Why cash cover? Why is it so special?
Yeah, it's a very, very important question, and it's a question that it distinguishes the Diaspora Funeral Cash Plan from the traditional funeral cover. Traditionally, funeral insurance has always been structured as a goods and services policy. To say, God forbid, something happens to someone, you get given maybe your casket, your coffin, transport, and the procession is done, the burial is done. That structuring was okay, but it was informed by the reality of yesteryear. The reality of yesteryear is that people used to be very localized. You are born locally, you grow up locally, you pass on locally, you get buried locally. So you would find someone who is born in Nairobi, they grow up in Nairobi, or they're born in the rural parts of Kenya, they move to Nairobi, but you are still very local because you are within the boundaries of the same country. So it was very easy then to structure covers that say, if you pass on, we can pick the body from Nairobi, we can take it to Mombasa, we can do this and that. But our reality as diasporans now is that we are now living in a global village where a lot of people have become transnational. And what we then said is it's no longer treating customers fairly to give them a product that assumes that you live locally, get buried locally, and people's realities over time change. People's preferences over time change. And that has to be addressed by the product that they are getting. Otherwise, you are selling clients a wrong product. So as with the diasporans, what we focus then is to say that your cover should be able to work for you irrespective of relocation, irrespective of change of preferences. And the change of preferences may end up being that Joy may end up saying, I'm no longer going to be taken back to Kenya. I will be laid to rest in Geneva. I will be laid to rest in Germany when my time comes. And those are real issues, and we see them increasingly happening now, where a lot of Africans are being buried abroad. And there are a lot of reasons why that happens. I did a blog and came up with about 14 reasons. Don't ask me for all of them. But some of the most pertinent reasons are that the longer you live abroad, your connection, your fixation about being taken home dies the moment you start to lose people who matter to you back home. And most of the times, people who matter to you back home most are your parents. Past your parents, your siblings, you almost got no reason to be taken home, because you are probably a grandparent in the diaspora. You got children in the diaspora, grandchildren in the diaspora. So the reason for being taken home almost dies naturally. Because it's emotional. So when that happens, we don't want people to be caught up in a situation where their policy, at the point of taking their cover, was to say, I will be taken to Kenya, I will be buried in Nairobi, only to find that you fast forward time 40 years from now, you no longer want to be buried in Nairobi, you want to be buried in Geneva, or you want to be buried in New York. Then you find yourself in the afternoons of your life, you no longer have a policy, because the policy has invalidated itself by change of preference. So we then say, no, we want a policy that speaks to the fact that if you want to be taken home, use the same policy. If you want to be buried abroad, use the same policy. If you have a peculiar situation, which we have experienced lately, where someone goes to their home country, their country of origin, maybe to visit family or to do some business, then if things go wrong, you end up, you die. It happens that you die there. But you say, no, I don't want to be buried in Nairobi, I want to be buried in New York. Your policy should pay for that. Reverse repatriation, where someone is being repatriated from their country of origin to their host country or to their new home. So that's why we did this policy as a cash cover. Why? Cash knows no border. And cash gives you complete control and complete flexibility. Yeah. Then the other reason why cash is the best option is that when a funeral happens, it's not always about the coffin and the transport. There's a lot of cost: family travel, food, church service, flowers, photography, you name it. Even the most disorganized family, after a funeral, they will have a meeting. Top on the agenda is, when are we doing memorial? Who is going to pay for your memorial? If you are on a policy that gives you a coffin and then after burial you are on your own, who is going to pay for your memorial? With the diaspora families, you find that you could easily have like 3-4 trips for the same funeral. Where you go is like I'm reminded when we lost my father-in-law. My wife traveled to Zimbabwe for the funeral. After the burial, we had both to go back for the memorial, and now there's the tombstone ceremony. So all 3 trips, who is paying for that? So with a cash cover, it means we've got all those expenses that are not declared, but they end up hitting your pocket as a diasporan. But with a good cash cover, it means you can cover all those costs in one policy. So much about the why we do it as a cash policy. There is a number of reasons: flexibility, and also covering all related expenses. And yeah, those are very, very important reasons.
That is incredible. And so I'm sure we've got our viewers who are wondering, what is the maximum age that diaspora funeral cash cover has?
Yeah, it's a very important question, that one. What you find with the diaspora funeral cash plan, which I could have touched on when Joy asked what is diaspora funeral cash plan. It's a policy that comes as a guaranteed acceptance policy. Guaranteed acceptance. No medicals on application, no medicals on claim. Normally, a policy that gives you cash, you always have to go through medicals, like a typical life cover. or if you don't, you have to do the actual medicals, it means you have passed their questions. You have qualified on standard terms, therefore you don't have to do further medical investigations. But with a policy that gives cash, you always have to do medicals. Luckily, with the Diaspora Funeral Cash Plan, you don't have to do any medicals. It's a guaranteed acceptance policy, no medicals on application, no medicals on claim. The impact of no medicals, it means on claim, the monies are paid out immediately. On paper, we say 24 hours. The monies are paid immediately without delaying or without a bereaved family having to go through a lot of hassles to say, how do we even get the money? So the monies are made immediately available. Back to the question about the maximum age that we accept, that is linked to the idea of the policy being a guaranteed acceptance policy. A guaranteed acceptance policy, no medicals, it means we are taking so much risk to say even if you are confirmed terminal illness, you can join the policy. So the insurance, when we do the underwriting of the product, the risk that is to be covered is the fact that we are not doing medicals. We are taking anyone, even if they've got medical issues. But with a no medicals policy, again, normally those type of policies would accept someone who is still within working age. So you find that most of the times they say, as long as you're under 65, you qualify. Why under 65? Because that's the normal working age. And if you are still in working age, it means maybe you are still healthy and you therefore managing the risk that way. With the Diaspora Insurance being a company that is focusing on helping people, we consider ourselves and the products we offer is community-based. We said, 65, it means a lot of diasporans may end up failing to cover their loved ones. Therefore, we increased the maximum age we accept to 75 to say anyone under 75, you qualify to be covered. We, in as much as we want to cover everyone, say even if your parent is 90 or 100, we can cover them. There is so much risk that an insurance company can take. And there is also the optimal point where the insurance company can do business. We can say, okay, fine, bring your 90-year-old parent or 80-year-old parent, but the premiums will be so high that no one will take that policy. So there's an optimal point where you say we can do business, we can write insurances here. If we do this, we can offer the product, but it will be so expensive that no one will be interested. So those are some of the considerations that come in to say who qualifies, who doesn't qualify, the pricing of the product itself as well. So the maximum cover we take, as long as someone is under 75, they qualify to be covered, no medicals. No medicals, no question, you qualify to be covered. Whether you are a Kenyan based in the US, whether you are a Kenyan based in Nairobi, Mombasa, it doesn't matter. Anyone from all the qualifying countries, as long as you are under 75, no medical question, you go through the application, no question.
That is great. That is awesome. So tell us, most people think that when they have a life plan, what would be the benefit of having the Diaspora Funeral Cash Plan as opposed to just having the life cover?
Yeah, that is a very, very important question, and especially to most diasporans who are professionals, people who are working, they've got good jobs, they've got mortgages, they've taken a bond to buy a house. So they tend to have life covers, most of those who are in good jobs and doing well, and they tend to mix between life insurance and the funeral policy. There's a very big difference, and people need to understand this. That's why you would find sometimes I've seen situations where a social worker is gone, or a social worker is promoted, an engineer is promoted, a medical doctor is promoted. There's no money for the funeral. There's no money for the funeral. An engineer is gone. There's no money for the funeral. I've seen university lecturers. There's no money for the funeral. It's mainly sometimes because it could be the case that they don't have insurance, but also it could be the case that there was a misconception between life insurance and funeral insurance. The key distinction that people need to remember is that a life insurance, in most cases where people have got life insurance, they've got what is called term assurance. It's a term assurance. The term referring to the fact that you are covering yourself for a given period. You are covering yourself for a given period. So it's called term assurance. Where someone has got a life insurance which runs for the rest of their lives, it's called whole of life cover. Whole of life cover. But it's very, very, very expensive. So hardly do people have that whole of life policy. Why is it expensive? Before I go back to the comparison, the reason it's expensive is because you are taking, say, 500 euros as your life policy, and you are saying to the insurance company, I don't want my life policy to expire. I will continue paying until I die. Even if I die at 110, I will still be paying my premium, and you then pay my 500,000. That automatically creates a big problem to the insurance company, because they now have a guaranteed liability on their books to say this person, as long as this person continues to pay, at some point we have to pay 500,000 euros. That makes the policy very expensive, and very few people have got that policy. So most people who have got life insurance, they've got what is called a term assurance, where you cover yourself for 25 years, sometimes to match the term of your mortgage or your bond with the life cover. So you take your mortgage for 25 years, you take your advisor tells you to take life insurance for 25 years. So that is, you reduce the payment on your mortgage to zero. Your life policy also reduces to zero. If it remains level, it's called level term assurance. But once the period has run out, it also runs out. So you find someone, back to our comparison, you find a scenario where someone young like Joy, 40 years old, 40 years old, they've got a life insurance for 500,000, and their life insurance is for 25 years. What it means is, by the time she turns 65, that life insurance expires. The insurance company walks away with the premiums that you paid. You walk away with nothing, because your 25 years period of cover is expired. And that's where a lot of people are caught there. They don't realize that their life cover. I urge all the listeners to say, go to your life policy document, check the term. When did it start? When does it end? And in most cases, I can assure you, based on the life expectancy of people in the first world, mainland Europe, UK, the average life expectancy for women is 83. None of us will have a life insurance that goes to 83. They tend all to expire before the life expectancy. So what that means then is, your life insurance is not a funeral policy for reason number one. It expires, which means you can outlive your life insurance. If you are blessed with longevity, good for you, but you also outlive your life insurance. By the time you die, your life insurance expired a good 10, 5, 15 years ago. So if you take someone who is 40 now, life insurance 25 years, that takes them to 65. It expires. If at 65 you try to take another one, you may find you have started to have medical conditions, maybe a heart ailment, or you have been diagnosed with some cancer, or if you have got starting to have some of these afternoons diseases. So it's something normal, it's something natural. And you then don't qualify to take another policy. Even if you qualify, you may not be able to take it into past your life expectancy. So life insurance is not a policy, is a funeral policy, because it expires. Secondly, you can outlive you outlive your life insurance. But thirdly, also, and more importantly, it's medically tested. You don't get a 500,000 policy on a guaranteed acceptance policy. On a guaranteed acceptance basis, you have to answer 30, 40 pages questionnaire. If you then get accepted without being referred from further medicals, it means you are just, your body mass index, your medical history, family medical history, they are all fine, and you are passing on standard terms. If you found yourself that maybe you've got some medical history or your family medical history that is not good, they may send you for further checks. The outcomes of the further checks is that they can accept you, or they can accept you but you pay more, or they reject you. So those medical checks means that when you claim on a life policy, you don't just say, someone has passed on, they were on 500,000 cover with a life insurance, here is your check on the spot. No. Even if you have gone through medicals, they will do further medical checks on claim. As a result, it could be 3 weeks, not 3 weeks, 3 months, 6 months. Money from life insurance is not yet out. It means your money from life insurance is very, very unlikely to be available for your funeral. So life insurance, you outlive it. Even if you don't outlive it, the money is not paid in time for your funeral. There are life insurances that have got a sweetener. I should add that, and it has tended to mislead a lot of people. There are life insurances that have got a sweetener to say that, okay, fine, you've got your life insurance for 500,000, but God forbid something was to happen to you. While least we are assessing and doing the claims underwriting, we will pay immediately 10,000 for your funeral. We immediately release 10,000 for the funeral. As to whether you after the assessment you qualify for the lump sum payout or not, that's another discussion. But we will immediately help the family by giving you 10,000 on proof of death. And some people say, I don't need the funeral policy. My life cover will give me 10,000 when I die on the spot. So why do I need a funeral policy? What does that not address? It does not address the fact that when we use the same example, where someone on turning 65, their policy expires, that sweetener also expires. So the day you lose your life, you outlive your life insurance, you also live the funeral policy sweetener. So you find yourself, maybe you are 50 now, you've got a life insurance that covering you for say $250,000 US, and it gives you a 10,000 payout if you were to die. But the life insurance is only for 20 years. By the time you turn 70, the life insurance expires. The sweetener is also gone with the expired policy. You are now on your own when you need it most. So Diaspora Insurance, Diaspora Funeral Cash Plan then comes in and says, we don't do medical so that we can pay you immediately for funeral.
Wow.
Your cover doesn't expire, so that even if you are blessed with longevity, it shouldn't be a case. If you are blessed with longevity, enjoy your long life. Your policy for your end of life expenses will always be there.
Wow.
So those are some of the things that people don't know, and people may not realize when they are dealing with these policies. And you find someone saying, I don't want a policy, I've got a life cover.
Yeah. So what you're saying, we need to read the small print. Just hold that thought there as we go on to the next part, giving a short break, give a little bit. And if you're listening, thank you so much. I can see some of our diasporans there out there. Thank you so much. I can see better. Mona is here as well. You met her in Germany during our event. We are so happy to have you, Beatrice. She was telling me what she's saying. She's the CEO of Mundorf and representative of the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce Industry in Germany and the wider Europe. Welcome as well. Get yourself covered, my dear, because when we leave these titles, we leave them as well here. But we need to be remembered, not that people contributing money for us, but people supporting us. And that's why we have the Diaspora Insurance here, to make sure that we're here. And somebody is saying, awesome, thank you for joining us. Share. We're here to make sure that diaspora get this message, so that when you get those groups that have been invited overnight, when you wake up and you find yourself in a group, that you share with them, have they heard about the diaspora cash cover? And that's what it is about today. We are making sure that we ask, and I am asking you to put your questions now, slowly by slowly. I'm going to take a short break, and we're going to show you a little bit of what they're doing, to also see they have a lot of media marketing. I have to say, the information that we've been sharing with you, you need to have the Dime Talk Show and follow on Facebook, because we put there on a regular place. And I've seen some funerals look like wedding, my dear. If you put your camera, you come now back to What does it mean for you? What do you really get? And this is what will be coming to come back to you in a few seconds. So keep you asking your questions. We're going to come back to you in a short break with a little bit of promotions.
Funeral cover for less than a cup of coffee. Peace of mind is not as expensive as you may think. For just one day, you can forego your cup of coffee for your monthly Diaspora Funeral Cash Plan cover. To find out how much premium you would pay, get a quote today. Visit www.diasporainsurance.com/get-quote. WhatsApp +44 770 3838 304 UK and international. WhatsApp +27 659 070 419 South Africa and rest of Africa. Funeral cover for less than a cup of coffee.
Here's a funeral cash plan that guarantees you free coverage in the future. Throughout your career, you have made contributions to a funeral plan. Eventually, you retire and cannot afford the premiums, and your policy expires. Are you heading in that direction? Let Diaspora Insurance take care of you. When you take out a Diaspora funeral cash plan, you'll never have to worry about this again. Your future coverage is guaranteed. You can get a free quick quote right now and start the journey to free coverage in the future when you cannot afford your premiums. Your peace of mind is only a WhatsApp message away. +44 770 3838 304 or +27 659 070 419. Get in touch now. 24/7 quote and apply at diasporainsurance.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back, and I'm happy that you're still tuned with us. Share as much as possible. We're here to educate you, inform you, and really give you the right tools to help you as a diasporan here in Europe and wherever you are. And I have to excuse myself. I'm in Geneva here supporting women in business, a little background noises, but we still have to keep up the agenda here. So I'm going back to you, Jeff, because you talked about the diaspora insurance. You told about how important it is. Now, how does it really work? How does one claim the process, especially after? Because you told us you have to be not beyond 75, and I think these are case-to-case situation. So now, after we have now gotten the cash insurance, and now is the day we are not here. How does it really work?
Yeah, thank you again for that question. It's like I said, it's a guaranteed acceptance policy. And the reason why the Diaspora Funeral Cash Plan is a guaranteed acceptance policy is to make it very easy for bereaved families to claim. We don't want bereaved families to be bogged down in paperwork. We are waiting for GP report this, we are waiting for accident report this, we are waiting for hospital report this, medical history report this. We don't want that. Bereaved families are traumatized enough. Therefore, in the event of a bereavement with the Diaspora Funeral Cash Plan, we don't do any medical underwritings. All we need is proof of death. We validate with the issuing office that yes, it's a genuine proof of death, and the monies are processed. On paper, we therefore say the monies are paid within 24 hours. But in real life, if you get all the documents in place, we validate. Most of the times, the claims are paid within 3, 4, 5 hours. 3, 4, 5 hours, the money is paid out. So it's a very simple process to claim proof of death. Then we want confirmation that the person who is making the claim is the person who is the correct person who was appointed to make the claim. We don't want Dr. Lucy to just pop up and claim when it's supposed to be Joy who is claiming. Otherwise, Dr. Lucy has got the right to come and claim again, and then we end up paying double because we paid the wrong person. So it's just those small checkings to make sure that the beneficiary who is claiming is the correct person, the documentation that is submitted is okay, the policy was up to date, the monies are paid out. Very, very simple policy.
Wow, this is amazing. So tell us if so we live in the diaspora. Can we cover our relatives back home?
Yes, you do. You do. You can cover the essence of the diaspora. Like I said, it's a solution crafted for the common good of the people, especially the diasporans. I've always said that the situations we have seen with the diaspora death has always been very, very troubling. To say how do we suffer non-stop like this as a community? We need to create a solution for our common good, and we believe the diaspora funeral cash plan is a solution for our common good. But also taking it especially from the African family setup, peace of mind does not come from being selfishly covering myself, my wife, and kids and end there. With African family systems, our peace of mind will come from saying, I'm able to cover my parents, I'm able to cover my brother, I'm able to cover my uncle who paid for my school fees when I lost my parents when I was young. All those dynamics come into place. So in structuring the diaspora funeral cash plan, we wanted it to speak to the reality of our family setups, our scenarios, our reality as Africans. And our reality as Africans is that we have extended family members who matter so much to us. And even if we don't cover them, the bill will end up in your pocket. So we therefore allow diasporans to say, you can cover yourself, your spouse, your nuclear family. You can also cover extended family members. If you are from Kenya and you want to cover your brother in Kenya, you want to brother your sister who is Kenyan but based in South Africa, or your brother, your uncle who is based in Australia, you can do that. If someone is Kenyan and you have got a policy and they are your relative, you can cover them wherever they are in the world. So we allow people to cover extended family members.
That is great.
And sorry, Dr. Luis, on the point about the maximum age, I think there's a follow-up question that normally gets people a bit confused. To say that, okay, fine, I'm 74 now, I'm 70 now, I take my policy. Does it mean when I turn 75, my policy then stops? Once you are on the cover, you are on the cover for life. Your policy does not expire. So you will find that in 20, 30 years' time, you will find someone who is 80 or 90 with a policy and someone who is 76 being told, sorry, you can't join, you have passed the joining entry or the entry age. It's because the 90-year-old is joined before they were 75. So once you are on the policy, you're on the policy for life. It doesn't expire.
That really is good news, that you don't drop us when we get past the 75.
Correct, yeah.
Okay, so do we keep paying our premiums until we die? Or do you just, there's a time limit to paying the premiums?
Yeah, normally with insurance, you pay, what you are paying for is the protection as you go along. That's the normal structuring of insurance. It's not an investment where you are saying, I'm putting aside money, I've put aside enough money. Think of your car insurance. You may be 50 now, you may be 40. You started driving in your 20s, you started paying car insurance. Even if you had not moved from the same car insurance provider, you would still pay for your insurance. That's how it works with insurance. You are paying for protection as you go along. Back to the question of insurance of funeral policies. Most funeral policies, in fact, almost all funeral policies, as long as you need cover, you pay, because again, you are paying for your protection as you go along. Luckily, with the Diaspora Funeral Cash Plan, because we have at the core of our culture treating customers fairly, we considered the fact that later on in retirement, people may struggle with their finances as they tighten in retirement, or even if your finances are still good in retirement, it may be the faculties failing to do the transactions or managing the transactions. So we didn't want a situation where someone starts their policy at 60, they pay their policy, then they at 90 they fail to pay, and die at 91 without a policy that they've had for 30 years. We've considered that to be a bit unfair. So what we did is we said, no, as people go late into retirement, we wanted to give them free cover. So irrespective of when you start your policy with the Diaspora Funeral Cash Plan, the moment you hit age 85, you stop paying premiums. You go on free cover for the rest of your life. So that's how it's structured. So that if you are blessed with long life at 86, 90, 100, you don't have to worry to say, how am I going to pay for my premium? You will be on free cover. So that's the thinking. Otherwise, under normal circumstances, as long as you need cover, you pay. And you find with almost any other insurance you can think of, if you have a whole of life policy or if you have a funeral policy, you pay until you die. We treat our customers fairly and we want to intervene and help.
That is good to know. And so if I join to get my Diaspora funeral cash plan, is there a waiting period that I have to wait once I am a new client before I can be covered in the event something just happens to me?
Yes, yeah. Normally, it's again another very good question there, because normally what happens with like I said, with the policies that give you cash, you need to go through medicals to qualify or to be rejected or to be told you qualify, but you have to pay more because of your medical history or family medical history. When you have a policy like the Diaspora Funeral Cash Plan that does not do medicals at all, it means someone can go to the GP today, could get it told that, sorry, you are terminally ill, you are left with 1 month to live. Then they come to Diaspora Insurance and take maximum cover. To expect that you then pay one premium and cash in 20,000, it's not sustainable. Not only to the insurance company, that's what people need to understand, that when the rules for insurance products are put in, they are not put in to benefit the insurance company per se. They are also put in to benefit genuine clients on the portfolio. You will have someone who is on the portfolio, they've been paying their premiums for the past 10 years, they've never claimed. Someone goes to the GP, get told you are terminally ill, 1 month to live, they come and take maximum cover. Next month they claim 20,000 and go away. They will bankrupt the system, and who is going to be the loser is the people who are genuine. It's the same situation with the where someone goes on the road without car insurance. You crash into someone's Rolls Royce, you don't have insurance, you are driving your 100 euros car. Who is going to suffer? It's the genuine people who have got the insurance, because the insurance companies will say the claims are so high, we are increasing the claims on our portfolio, the premiums on our portfolio. So those are that's how things work out in the background with insurance. Back to the question, waiting period. How do we manage the fact that it's a guaranteed acceptance policy? Someone may do exactly what I explained, that you go to the GP, you are terminally ill, 1 month to live, you come and take maximum cover. How do we manage that risk? The way that risk is managed for the benefit of the sustenance of the portfolio and for the benefit of the genuine clients on the portfolio is that you do what is called a waiting or qualifying period, which is exactly talking to your question. And normally, those waiting periods apply to situations where the policy comes with no medicals. It applies to situations where it may be a hospitalization policy, where someone cannot take a hospital policy knowing that they are booked for a major operation in 3 months. Then you go and take a medical aid policy knowing that you've got a major so they will tell you that no, you don't qualify because you are still on a waiting period. Secondly, those policies apply on things like medical aid policies. Again, you talk of international policies like BUPA and another medical aid option. So to manage what they use is to use the waiting period to manage the risk. And normally they would say the first 24 months you don't qualify because we didn't do any medicals on you. We don't know whether you are a genuine application or not. But that aside, Diaspora Insurance took into account the fact that we are treating our customers fairly. We want our customers to benefit at the earliest convenience. So immediately someone applies, you start to accrue benefits. The initial benefits is that if you suffer an accident after taking your policy, you qualify for a full payout. No question about waiting, no anything. It's accidental. It can happen to anyone, anytime. So we say, if death is accidental, you get your payout, full payout from day one. Instead of waiting for 24 months on the natural death, with Diaspora Insurance said, no, we want people to start benefiting. So as soon as you do the first 3 months, you started to accrue benefits on a sliding scale. After 3 months, you qualify to be paid 12.5% of your policy value. 12.5% of your policy value. After 6 months, it goes up to 25% of your policy value. Then after 12 months, you get the full benefit. So it's just on a sliding scale to make sure that it's manageable, especially in situations where someone may be deliberately trying to benefit from other people's contributions by joining when you know that if it was the case that we would do medicals on you, we will not even qualify for the cover. But because the door is open, you're also just walking in. But if we say the door is open, we are walking in and everyone just walks in and milk the system, all our genuine clients will lose out. So we need to protect them by having these terms and conditions. So immediately full cover if death is accidental. After 3 months, you start to benefit even if death is natural, but you get a percentage of your policy. After 12 months, that's when you get 100% of your cover. The only situation where we also do 24 months is if someone commits suicide. If someone commits suicide, the waiting period on our policy is 24 months. Normally with insurance companies, most insurance companies, if you commit suicide, they don't want to pay. Even if you have been on the policy for years, they don't want to pay. Why? It's because the society views suicidal death as wrongdoing. The insurance company does not want to be seen to be rewarding wrongdoing. It creates a moral hazard where you say people can commit suicide and get paid. Go to Diaspora Insurance, from day one, you commit suicide, you get paid. It creates a moral hazard. We end up with a queue of people waiting to take policy before committing suicide. So it's not sustainable. So that's why some of these things are meant to manage the risk, to manage the moral risk, and also to protect the people. To say, if you commit suicide after 24 months, we can easily say, no, if the decision to commit suicide is not related to the decision to take a policy 24 months ago. So therefore, we want to intervene and pay. So that's how it's structured.
Wow. Time is really going so fast. Unbelievable. And I can see some questions coming up here. Slowly by slowly, we will start tackling them as well. Unless there's any other point, Dr. Lucy, we really miss and we need to come, because we'll be having them over and over coming here to remind you. We need you to share as much as possible in different platforms. We heard already last time we see Bert was here, a director, and he gave us a lot of information. And today Jeff has actually really broken it down for us, so I can really understand his position now, digging deeper into the situations of real time. So how does it really work? So and I'm happy because when you look at also when you just said about the death and suicide, or at the end of the day, these are the diaspora money. So you put it for death, so it covers your death, whatever the cost it was, because it's actually your money you put. And what I like about that is that after you finished your premiums, even if you're over, like you, have you said here in Germany, we have it, life insurance is every country is different. So it depends which one you take. When you finish, you get your money back, but that doesn't mean you're not gonna die, because when you die, you need to cover the cash, and you can finish your premiums and still stay chilled out and wait for the day of the calling, and you still get your premium. So that's the beauty about it. So I can see a lot of questions. It seems like we have even real situations here. There's one lady here, Karen Monene, saying, "Death is so real. I lost my mom last week. I know, I know, and I get it now what it is about." And she's actually very keen on getting to know about. I need to know the family policies for a whole family, because it affects us even here back at home. When somebody dies at home, and in Kenya or wherever country you are in, you're gonna be called those wee hours. And I'm telling you, the bill is high, comes the hospital, comes everything included. If you can reduce the death part, that is a very good impact. So check on their website. I've shared with you also on the Facebook, and you're gonna get a quote, as in it's an individual quote. Is according to what you want. You can get high premiums, low premiums, is up to you, because you know what you're covering. So I have to see another question here. We have to change our mindset. Thank you so much, collective. Our mindset according to the 21st century. Our people must become more preventive and provide their relatives and protect for their relatives and themselves. Thanks, Matilda, for sharing this.
Yeah, I
Yes.
think that's a very important point there, Matilda, because we tend to be to have this fear about death in the African communities, that we consider death a taboo subject. We don't want to talk about it. A lot of people have got this mindset that if you talk about it, it crystallizes, it becomes reality. Therefore, you may die early. But honestly, talking about funeral policies, it's just talking about planning. And I've said this over and over. Planning is nothing but bringing the future into the present so that you create a solution while least you can. That is very, very important. And no one, I can emphasize, no one will ever live longer because they don't have a funeral policy. And no one will die younger because they've taken a funeral policy. It's just this mentality that we fear so much about death that we end up driving into situations of GoFundMe, because we want to live with the fixation and the mindset that it happens next door. If you ask God, who is next door, can you say it's your neighbor? Maybe it's you. So we never know. So this idea of thinking it happens next door, I think we need to do away with it and face the reality that we need to plan for these things. We can't leave our families driving into troubles when we are seeing it. So Matilda raised a very important point there.
Yeah. And thanks so much for answering. There's another here, a comment and also a question is: share your contacts, please, and they've put their website there on the chat. And what's the cost per year? And well, if you want to answer that, which is very individual, but I will let you answer that. And do you also do other covers? Please advise.
Yeah, the cover, the premiums are based on mainly two things. One, the amount of cover and the age of the person you are looking to cover. The younger you are, the cheaper it is. The higher the amount, the more you pay. So those are the two things that affect your premium. We do international, we do life cover, critical illness, medical health, income protection, but mainly at the moment they are mainly for the UK market. We are going to be launching an international product, which is an international life cover, which works exactly the same with the Diaspora Funeral Cash Plan. So we are working on that product, and we will be launching it before the close of the year. Because what tends to happen with the diasporans, again, because of the uniqueness of our situation, you find someone has got a life policy. They've been paying for their life policy in the USA. They relocate to Kenya. If you overstay, you find that your life policy is no longer valid. Some of the life policies are geographical. You can only go to certain markets, certain countries for a given period, sometimes 30 days. Beyond the 30 days, you find that they may say that your life policy doesn't work anymore. So we wanted to, again, to say, no, we now live in a transnational world where people belong to more than one society. My location should not matter as long as I pay my premium. Yeah, so sometimes when you go abroad, especially for more than 30 days, if you've got things like life policies, check your life policy. Does it have a geographical limitation? Policies with geographical limitations, they will limit you to say you can only be outside North America, Europe, and Australia, New Zealand. Certain countries, if they are English speaking, they tend to limit to say North America, Europe, Australia, New Zealand. Outside those countries, more than 30 days, you are no longer covered. And unfortunately, most first world policies would exclude the entire African continent.
Wow. Yeah, there's a challenge for you here. Is there counseling and documentation in French? There you go.
It's a difficult one. We, at the moment, no, but I think it's something that we can quickly work on. We can convert our even our website to give an option to give the text in Germany and in France and everything. So it's something that we can work on. But if someone who is strictly French and no English want the policy, we can always work with the part of our teams that understand French. So it's not a
Okay.
barrier.
Yeah, that's a good one because we do have the French speaking in the continent, and there are a lot. It's a market we should also be tapping. We also have our women in France who wants to get engaged in that, and also our friends and families, and that's another community that is huge as a diaspora. So it's a good idea we tackle that. Thank you for that, collective, James, for mentioning that. There's somebody else, please. He's also saying, please get back to me for that. We can work together. Maybe he can also help you to translate. You see, you got yourself a job,
Yeah,
collective.
thank you, James.
So we will get.
Your name doesn't sound that French.
That's true, James
So you
Baldwin,
got
and
someone who is good at both languages.
I
Yes.
think she's a
Yeah.
very good friend of
Thank you for coming
Matilda.
through, James.
Yes, Matilda, who we met in Germany because of the French-speaking community, is his president. So definitely we'll get in touch, and if you're in touch with Matilda, she can give you the contact of Jeff, and you can have connection or reach out to us as well. And I've shared the numbers, but Jeff, please confirm with these numbers. There's also a way we can also reach you. We use these numbers also before, and so that they can know where. And before I hand over to Lucy to also help us to finish with any other question and closing remarks. And then you can also tell us where you are. Maybe I just hand over to Lucy because we really need to also get the details how to connect you, as well as I can see more questions and requests are coming. Back to you, Dr. Lucy McKenzie.
Thank you so much, Joy, and thank you, Jeff, for everything that you have shared with us. What would be your parting shot to our viewers now that it's amazing how quickly time goes by. We've already reached the top of the hour. So, what would be your final parting shot to our viewers? How do they get in touch with you? And more so, why should they seriously consider getting the diaspora cash plan, funeral cash plan?
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you to the listeners and for the engagements and the questions. It was very engaging and very interesting. And thank you to the hosts as well. We appreciate your time. We appreciate your effort in supporting the communities that you work with. As regards your insurance, I would simply say that it's irresponsible for someone to live on the assumption that death happens next door. Death can happen to anyone, and it's very, very important that we all have our covers and we all have our houses in order, so that God forbid anything happens, you know that you are protected. You don't want to live a situation where you expose your children because of the fear of planning. So this is about planning. This is not about dying. And please plan for the inevitable. Final expenses or end of life expenses are inevitable. They will happen to everyone. We don't want to see people, professionals on GoFundMe begging for help because there's no money for their send off. It's something that we can all avoid. The Diaspora Insurance is available. It's available on the website diasporafuneralcashplan.com or diasporainsurance.com as well, the parent website. You can leave your details there. If you are feeling lazy and you don't want to fill in the form, there's a WhatsApp number. Drop a WhatsApp number. I'm interested. Then things will start to unfold from there. So it's very, very simple. And we've got a call center. We've got people who are ready to support you and get your cover in order. So please, let's not keep sitting on the fence. let's not procrastinate over this. It's a very important subject, and we need people to wake up to the reality that at some point we come to pass, and when it happens, there are going to be expenses, and those expenses are your responsibility.
And there you have it, our listeners and our viewers. It has been an awesome engagement here with the CEO of Diaspora Insurance. Thank you so much, Mr. Jeff, for coming to join us in this conversation. It is a very timely conversation. We have had many engagements with our diaspora where they have had to ask for money and create funding, crowdfunding towards their burial. So this is a conversation that has been needed for a long time. But the diaspora insurance and the funeral cash plan is something that we have needed for years. And so it is great that we were able to connect with you and that you were able to come here and engage our viewers and our listeners on what is offered and what is out there for them. So we are proud to continue working with your team, yourself and Dr. Siebert. So we shall continue this engagement and we look forward to hosting you again in the next couple of months.
Thank you. Anytime.
Thank you,
so
thank
much.
you, thank you for doing that. And we're looking forward with the next. I heard you have a new product, so we're looking forward to hear about that as well.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, and we are connecting with you, and see you again very soon on that particular topic. It's a very important one, and I hope our listeners are going to share as much as possible. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
So, a listener, you heard about what is there for you, Dr. Lucy. Wow, that was informative, more detailed. I am so impressed.
So detailed.
So detailed, and we need to know those more details, those small prints. You know, the insurance, they come with those small prints, eh? Yeah, we taught them, even the ones we already have. We need to print them. It looks like we are not covered actually completely. We need to read it.
Sometimes we don't really read, and so I like the fact that he was able to explain that some of it is there's a tier system. If it happens before your 1 year, that you don't get the full coverage, and that it is tiered in terms of months. And I liked that. The detail was very, very good.
I'm happy we're gonna have him coming back again, giving us more details and then new products, because we need to know all these details. What is it? Why cash cover? And if you're joining us now, I can see some of you joining us now. I'm sorry, I'll have a background noise. Cash cover, it's all about this diaspora insurance, cash funeral, diaspora funeral cash cover. Please check on that. We've given you the website. It's very simple, diasporainsurance.com. You can put the away or you don't leave it. It doesn't matter. It will take you there. There's a form, fill it up, and you get a meeting, one-to-one meeting, because everyone is special. Put your family member. Don't forget, if your parents is starting 75, he's not going to be in that cash cover.
You want to make sure he or she is in
75 there. Or 76?
Yeah, you have to be
75.
You have to be under 75.
So 75 is included. So you're fine. So that's a good thing. So, and anyway, we'll come to explain to us more on that. But as I said, it's your responsibility, our responsibility. Let's take care of ourselves. Let's take care of our family members. We have a lot of products coming up, and I hope we'll be coming here with a real story. They have been existing for over 10 years. So these are not just company, as you had, Dr. Lucy. So we're going to come more and having real people on the ground. And if you have not been following us, thank you so much, Rachel. I can see I support it. Yes, let's do it. I have some of my members who have already started taking the cash cover. So it's real and it's practical, and it's something that we can all relate to. And it's a diaspora made for diasporans. That's the good thing about it. You tell me about that. It's a beautiful.
I also like the fact that they can do reverse repatriation. So if I'm in Kenya and I really wanted to be buried in the US, that they could send, if God forbid I die while I'm in Kenya, they can ship me back to the US where I can be buried. So it's not just one way. So I really, really like that about their product. And so I would urge, our viewers and our listeners to actually look them up, have a conversation with one of their people who are at their call center, and just get all your questions answered, so you know the product you're getting is what you've been looking for. You're
With that,
muted.
yes, with that, we're gonna be closing now, and I want to inform you that African Women in Europe, we have not finished our tour yet. We are still
Not
having
yet.
one more, not yet, Lucy.
I'm
One more
waiting. I'm
tour.
only waiting for the
Europe.
South African one.
I know you better come there. So this is its next one where we'll be hosting in Switzerland, in Geneva. The tickets up, and this is an excursion. You need to come to this one, Lucy, because this one we're gonna have cheesecakes, We're gonna have train tours. We're gonna go to the chocolate factory. Yes, yes,
Really?
yes. The package
They're
is
very
really
tempting.
beautiful. It's very tempting. Get yourself here, and anybody else want to get to know Switzerland. And then we're gonna have after all that a dinner of 4-course meal where you'll be there to even get informed about if you're in that, especially in Switzerland. Diversity is a very important discussion. As you can see, it's unlearn and network with resilient women, and this is all about. So I'm encouraging you all to come, and I can see I'm in Geneva here. Next time we'll be in Zurich. We are all neighbors. As you said, we are all connected. It's a very small global
Yes.
area, and so I'm inviting all of you to come there. Diaspora Insurance is also very much supporting us on that. I hope they can come and also be telling all these stuff with us. So it's a package is very small. It's a group of 16. We're looking about 2 groups. So the first group is almost full. Get yourself your ticket. It's on September, as you can see, and from 17th,
Oh,
that's where we are meeting, and then we'll be going after that. I'll be giving you more information about the expo that is happening in Cape Town, and we have quite a lot coming up. So back to you, Dr. Lucy, to get us closing.
so this event is from the 17th to when? It only says 17th.
Yes, it's only one day.
Oh, okay.
It's a
All
Saturday.
right.
All our events are only one day, but we
Okay.
encourage you to. It starts very early in the morning, as you can. I mean, not in the afternoon, sort of, and goes all the way in the evening. So it's always
Evening.
one day.
All right. Fantastic. So it's been a pleasure again hosting with you, my friend, and I hope you enjoy your time in Geneva. And I am looking forward to seeing you definitely in South Africa. And now you've tempted me with Holland. But we'll talk about that offline. To our viewers, we thank you. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for tuning in for this show. And we look forward to seeing you at the next Dime Talk Show. And we promise to bring you somebody who will definitely enrich you and give you something that you can use, whether for yourself or for somebody else. So please do share this video with your network, and we look forward to seeing you again next month. Have a great night wherever if it's nighttime, and if it's daytime, enjoy your day, and see you very soon. Have a wonderful weekend.
Funeral cover for less than a cup of coffee. Peace of mind is not as expensive as you may think. For just one day, you can forego your cup of coffee for your monthly Diaspora Funeral Cash Plan cover. To find out how much premium you would pay, get a quote today. Visit www.diasporainsurance.com/get-quote. WhatsApp +44 770 3838 304 UK and international. WhatsApp +27 659 070 419 South Africa and rest of Africa. Funeral cover for less than a cup of coffee. Funeral cover for less than a cup of coffee. Peace of mind is not as expensive as you may think.
Habari wa Kenya. Get fantastic rates with Send. You can now send money to Kenya at great rates and with zero transfer fees. Send money from the USA, Canada, UK, Germany, Italy, France, Belgium, Spain, and the Netherlands. Trust TapTap for convenient, safe, and fast transactions to M-Pesa and to Kenyan bank accounts. Download today and get a bonus on your first transfer. TapTap ni ChapChap.
Here's a funeral cash plan that guarantees you free coverage in the future. Throughout your career, you have made contributions to a funeral plan. Eventually, you retire and cannot afford the premiums, and your policy expires. Are you heading in that direction? Let Diaspora Insurance take care of you. When you take out a Diaspora funeral cash plan, you'll never have to worry about this again. Your future coverage is guaranteed. You can get a free quick quote right now and start the journey to free coverage in the future when you cannot afford your premiums. Your peace of mind is only a WhatsApp message away. +44 770 3838 304 or +27 659 070 419. Get in touch now. 24/7 quote and apply at diasporainsurance.com. Terms and conditions apply.